The feast. I have a goblet. I will share it with you. Here is a table. The goblet is on it. There is a goose. We will cook it with our breath. Done. And set it on the table. Now we have a goblet and a goose. All we need are candles and some wine, some bread. Everything we need is now upon the table. Let us eat the goose. It is good to eat the goose. We want it to be gone. We want the goose inside ourselves. What lovely feelings all around. They are in the goblet and in our eyeballs and in the flickering flames. May I put the candle in your mouth? Let us eat the table. Let us break its legs and turn it upside down. Let us tear the bread and stuff it inside the goose, inside ourselves. Let the lovely feelings go the way of flesh. Put the eyeballs in the goblet and flambe them there. Some winters are harder than others. Let us burn it all and eat it all. Everything is on its knees. Now there is nothing left. And I will not share it with anyone. Welcome back to Movies TV Mag. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mag. And welcome to Sunday's edition of the dceu Daily. So what was all that about I was reading out? This is exactly the sonnet, the poem, the rhyme, the piece of scripture, whatever it is that Ezra Miller posted on their Instagram. Interesting, right? What does it mean? Well, clearly Ezra is trying to tell us how they are feeling. So what did that mean? Well, the term of cooking a goose is very interesting. It could be someone who does something to ruin their lives, or it could be something that other people do to ruin other people's lives. The poem talks about breaking the legs of the table. It sounds like he's talking about their treatment in this industry. But what does it mean about the future of the Flash movie? It doesn't sound good, does it, everyone? It sounds like they are trying to say that they're no longer the Flash. You see, Ezra Miller doesn't talk in straight lines. So after they were arrested twice, if they came out and said, right, I've committed a crime twice, I've been arrested twice, it was wrong, it happened because of this reason, this is the reason it happened. But you see, he's an elite actor in mainstream Hollywood. Sorry, they are an elite actor in mainstream Hollywood. They're not allowed to come out and say how they're feeling and speak the truth of situations. They've got to keep quiet while the Hollywood spin doctors spin the narrative. The Hollywood spin doctors are the articles that you read. This is how they spin the narrative constantly. Their first move after Ezra Miller's two arrests was to deny everything. But there was an article that came out that said a lot of truth. Ezra had suffered on the set of The Flash. They were having meltdowns. Clearly, there were issues while this movie was being made. And then he's been arrested twice. Ezra Miller had to make The Flash movie and Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore back to back. So clearly, this hasn't affected him very well. Let me say that again. This hasn't affected them very well. Ezra is not a him. I keep on saying him and he by mistake. Please forgive me. I'm not misgenderizing him purposely, because this is a serious video. So Ezra is sending a message out to DC fans, his fans, whatever. We've all had something to say about Ezra Miller. The things that I've said are my concerns as a DC live action fan, because I know that their behaviour is going to damage the bottom line of this movie and how many people come out and see it. We already know, basically, that Amber Heard will be scrubbed out from Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. We have two very damaging situations. So this piece that he's posted could mean he's out of a job. I think it also means that he's being cancelled, and it talks about, not in detail, but I think I can translate it saying someone who's, been cancelled and he basically someone who's on the floor, and we keep on kicking him and kicking him and kicking him. I think elements of this scripture actually mean this, but I also think that Ezra is struggling psychologically. Let's talk about people who struggle psychologically in the entertainment industry. It's very difficult because there's not a lot of sympathy for them from many people within the industry. Ezra Miller is a commodity. He plays the Flash. He plays another character in the Fantastic Beasts franchise. All they want is for him to do his performance and go home like a good little person. They don't want anything else from them. They don't care about them. They don't care how they feel. And it's difficult to make two movies back to back. Despite the common opinion, it's hard making movies. It's hard making television. It's hard making a play. All these things are very challenging. And even though these people make a lot of money from it, they are only human. I think what we're seeing here from Ezra Miller is some kind of psychotic break. It's clear. And it's very ugly to see. As I say, Ezra doesn't talk in straight lines, so he doesn't actually tell us exactly, kind of in any kind of narrative that we can understand, but he's used this poem or scripture or whatever it is. This is very, very sad to see, because this person was on top of their game. In the Snyderverse, he gave a brilliant performance. We celebrated them, and we thought, yeah, the Flash movie is coming. They're rebooting the franchise. Ezra is going to be the lead character of this franchise. How exciting is that? I personally never saw any of this coming, even though a few years ago on an April Fool's Day, he was caught throttling a woman. I thought it was just pretend, that he wasn't actually throttling her. I still to this day don't know if he was genuinely throttling that woman. She was a fan. It doesn't make sense. This actor is a very controversial character who says a lot of controversial things. But I think it's clear. He's suffering. Should I say that again? They are suffering. So this is very serious. My feelings are for him. I have empathy and compassion for them. But I am a fan of DC. And I want it to thrive and I want it to succeed. I want Ezra to get the help he needs. According to Flash Movie News, he's getting the help he needs. They need. And I hope that's the case. But what happens to the Flash? Well, it's clear. Ezra Miller probably isn't any longer the Flash. I think elements of this poem or sonnet or scripture is trying to tell us that they've been removed. By the way, on top of this post, he says facts. And that's all he says independently. And then he just posts this. So it is a very interesting piece of poetry or whatever it is. And I think it's obvious what's there. I do feel bad for him. But I also feel bad for the director, his producer sister, and the other people involved. We were going to have Michael Keaton back as Batman in this movie. And now what happens to this movie? I would imagine something will come out from the press about the future of the DCEU in this movie just a day or so before the Warner Brothers Discovery up front. But what Ezra has posted here is very concerning for their mental health. You know, it doesn't sound like they are a very stable person. And I myself know what it's like to suffer with anxiety and mental health problems on a daily basis. And I try and deal with it and control it as much as I can. But it's difficult. Because they are in a stressful business where you have to deliver or you're gone. They were probably pushed as a child to do this, to be a performer. It's all they know. And when you have that success and power and elite status, you're desperate to keep it. And this is where it's led to. So I think definitely Ezra Miller is done as the Flash, and the report saying that Warner Brothers were considering somebody else for the role tells me that that was true, and all the other stuff that Access Media was saying wasn't true. Please keep it here on Movies TV Mad to keep updated with this really serious story. This has been the DCEU Daily with me, Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection, and I will see you in the next video. Until we see each other again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.